Elrigu Namaskara. Today I'll be speaking on the topic Economic Importance of Bryophytes. Well, I'm Dr. Jayalakshmi, Assistant Professor of Botany at Postgraduate Department of Botany, Ghani Science College, Women, Mysore. This is a topic in first sem BSc of Botany degree under the University of Mysore syllabus. Coming to the contents which we are dealing is the uses of bryophytes, a brief introduction of it, the direct use of bryophytes and indirect use of the bryophytes. So if we see bryophytes, the traditional name which is used to refer to all embryophytes that do not have true vascular tissues. So we know that the bryophytes lack the true vascular tissue, hence we call them as non-vascular plants or non-vascular cryptogams. Coming to the different uses of bryophytes, so we can categorize the uses of bryophytes as the direct use of the bryophytes or economical use of the bryophytes, and also the indirect use of bryophytes or the ecological uses of the bryophytes. Coming to the direct use of bryophytes, we can deal that under these subheadings, that is the uses of peat, which is obtained from sphagnum, medicinal use of bryophytes, antibiotic activities of bryophytes, bryophytes used in experimental botany, bryophytes which is used as source of food, bryophytes which is used as pollution indicators. Coming to the major big large usage of bryophytes is the peat. So what is the peat? It's the pieces of dead vegetable matter partially decomposed by water in the bog and gradually compressed and carbonized under pressure by the overlapping deposits and what of these plant material and water, which will decompose and form into a pack called as the peat. So it's obtained from the decomposed and deposition of this sphagnum moss, which forms into a peat. So some peat, usually most of the peat contain sphagnum, or sometimes it may include some other forms, but major of the peat is obtained from the compression of sphagnum. So it's compact, partially decomposed and carbonized dead plant deposits, which we call it as peat. Peat is useful in various ways. It is used as a fuel. The thick deposit of this peat is cut into small blocks like bricks, and that blocks are used in as a fuel. And it's as rich in carbon, the dried peat is also used as fuel. Other uses of this peat is it is used in the preparation of ethyl alcohol. It is reported that the chemical treatment of the cellulose in peat is broken down into sugar, which through fermentation it gets converted into alcohol. Then the other product of the industrial use of peat is peat tar is obtained from this peat, ammonia is obtained, and paraffin is obtained from this peat. There is a long traditional use of this peat in agriculture and horticulture, especially in horticulture, as soil additives because it has high water holding capacity and to absorb water moisture from air in the case of plants which is potted and grown on as hangings. It's an important, that's why a soil conditioner and commonly used, that's why in agriculture and horticulture process all over the world. It's also, that's why great use in the horticulture as it keeps the soil texture porous with aeration and prevents the caking of the soils, and hence there is proper aeration and proper water circulation and water holding capacity in peat along with soil. It has also been suggested that the peat has a certain food value and it is being used as a stock food and mixture with molasses for some of the reindeers and some of the Arctic animals. So this was the major uses of peat, that is one of the major contributors of the uses of bryophytes. Coming to the other uses of bryophytes and the other different forms of bryophytes in various fields, like in the field of medicine. So regarding that, the information is less, but still it is used Like it has been reported that Marcasia polymorpha, Anthoceros, and Rixia plant has medicinal uses, and it has been found that the mosses are used in the treatment of ailments, skin diseases. And it has been reported that the dried sphagnum, which is boiled in water, is used as a decoction in the treatment of acute hemorrhages and diseases of eye. Even the sphagnum use, if we see, it is also used as porous material, and it is used as an absorbent for bandages in the treatment of boils and discharging of wounds. They are used as bandage materials. If we see the antibiotic properties or antibiotic activities of bryophytes, it is seen that the Himalayans use most of the mosses which is available there as insect repellents when during the storage of food. That is, it has some antibiotic or anti-insect activities, which since because of that they are used as insect repellents to store food. Some of the local mosses and liverworts are dried and made into coarse powder, and that is sprinkled over grains and other goods, food items, and can be which is stored in the containers to which works as a preservative or repellent. And we see it antibiotics activities. Some of the forms like Concephalum, Sphagnum are found to have antibiotic properties. So it is seen that minimum Polytrichum sphagnum and some of the species have moderate to strong antibacterial activity against some of the bacteria. It is reported that petroliometer extracts of two species of mosses, namely Barbula and which has been antibiotically active against 33 different bacterial species, which include gram-negative and gram-positive bacteria and some of the acid-fast bacteria. Coming to the different uses of bryophytes in experimental field for models of experimental work, it is seen that the liverworts and mosses have played important role as research tools in various phases of botany or in various fields of botany, like in genetics, in experimental morphology, and in physiology. The mechanism of sex determination in plant was first time discovered in the liverwort Spirocarpus. Since these are the plants which abundantly grows and were easy growing and easy to study its physiology and anatomy and morphology, these plants hence are used as experimental tools in botany. Coming to bryophytes as source of food, these are not directly used as human source of food, but it is been recorded that sphagnum has been used and is an ingredient in the preparation of bread, and some of the animals useful to man but use these bryophytes as source of food. And bryophytes has been found to be as pollution indicators also. So it has been shown that both alive and air-dried mosses, especially sphagnum, can absorb metals. The accumulation of heavy metal cations in the mosses enable us to be used as atmospheric and aquatic pollution indicators and in many of the mineralogical surveys. So the pollutants come in many forms from both urban and rural areas. Especially sulfur dioxide has been significant industrial pollutant for many years, and this sulfur dioxide is very damaging. But some of the bryophytes have high tolerance of sulfur dioxide pollution. Example: Fineria hygromitica and Bryum argenteum can absorb this sulfur dioxide. Hence, they can be used as in the process of bioremediation, and they work as pollution indicators. So these were the direct use of the bryophytes in various fields. Coming to indirect use of the bryophytes, that is the presence of bryophytes in these areas is very useful in a indirect way. So these are the different fields. That is, it helps in soil conversion. It helps in the formation of soil and development of vegetation cover. It helps in rock succession, and it works as a rock builder. So soil conservation, most of the moss, as we told, forms a mat of covering on the surface area. That is, they grow as dense strands forming a mat or carpet-like structure. It bears impact on the falling rains, drops, and second, it holds much water that falls on it. So these mosses, the protonemas and the small minute leafy thallus of the mosses form a thick mat, hence preventing the runway of water carrying the soil and helps in soil conservation or check the soil erosion. Formation of soil development. So we can see that the lichens and mosses both together play an important role in soil formation. Both are very efficient soil formers. The lichen thallus secretes organic acids which gradually dissolve and disintegrate the rocks to which they cling. And this rock particles, along with dead and decaying older parts of the lichens, forms the thallus fertile. Along with the lichen thallus, forms a fertile soil. It also aids in soil conservation. The mosses prevent sheet erosion of soil. They grow on dense strands forming a carpet-like structure and will prevent the soil erosion. Another use is it's very useful in a bog substation, that is in open water to climax forest. So the mosses, especially the peat moss established on the banks of lakes and other shallow bodies of water, extend inwards and grow into the surface of water with their stems which is intertwined to form thick mats, forming a soil strata and covering the water surface, leading to the formation of climax forest. It has been found that the bryophytes have also been indicators of acid rain. They are good indicators of acid rain because they lack protective epidermis, hence more susceptible than vascular plants. So this indicates the high pH, especially in case of, for example, like Necaria, which indicates high pH. So water erosion is one of the again properties which is being prevented by these bryophytes. That is, soil erosion and water erosion run parallel to each other. That is, bryophytes on tree trunk absorb rainwater that is flowing on the trunk and hang like curtains, absorbing water both from the rain and maintain a humid atmosphere, giving a influence of microclimate to those tree trunks. Along with that, they trap many nutrients dissolved in the rain and moist droplets and the mist which is there and make it available to the plant. So living bryophytes make use of nutrients that are trapped or dead, and decaying bryophytes release these nutrients to surrounding plants. In this, they help in uh, recycling of the nutrients available and make it to the available to the plants or the tree trunks. One more reason is they will work as rock builders. That is, plants grow on small, shallow waters of lakes, streams, springs, which contain large amount of calcium carbonates. These plants bring about decomposition of these biocarbonic ions by abstracting free carbon dioxide, and hence will make dissolve this and make a strata or stony material leading to the building of the rocks. So these are the different references which have been referred to prepare this PPT. Thank you.